What's going on, guys? This is AEW, and we're coming to you with our Money in the Bank predictions for this Sunday's pay-per-view. No long intros anymore. This is the new and improved AEW. Yeah. So we're gonna kick it off here. Who wants? I'm here with Kyle, of course. He's here. Who wants to kick this off? You.
I'll kick it off.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to kick it off. Got 11 match card here. Of course, the brand, dual branded pay-per-view Money in the Bank takes place this Sunday on the WWE Network. Everybody knows that. 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and kick it off with, we'll get right into it. Money in the Bank. We'll kick it off with the women's Money in the Bank match. 8 women going at it. Both Raw and SmackDown. I'm not even going to name the participants. You all know who's in it. I'm just going to say who I predict is going to win. Well, I will name them. We got Charlotte, Becky Lynch. I don't even remember. That's why I don't really want to name it, because it would take me too long. But regardless, my pick is going to be from the Raw brand, a woman who hasn't been on the main roster very long, and I'm going to pick Ember Moon to take the Raw Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, this was a tough pick because there's so much strong talent within this match that literally pick anybody to win. Like, you can make a case for all 8 of them. I say this about so many matches, but this is a true scenario because I believe out of like the 8 women in this match, like 5 or 6 of them have actually been women's champions before. You have Charlotte, you have Becky Lynch, you have Naomi, from SmackDown right there, who have been women's champion. Then you got a newcomer like Lana. Then you got Ember. Then you got Alexa Bliss, who has been women's champion. You just have so many different stars in this match. You have Natalya, who I believe won the women's championship before. So it's such a plethora of different women in this match. But in the end, I'm going to pick Ember. And that might be a little biased because I am a big Ember fan. And I don't feel like SmackDown is going to win the match again because they won it last year when it first kicked off. Ember really is going to make a name for herself. She really hasn't done much in her first month and a half on the roster. And I feel like now it's her time to finally shine and prove that she deserves to be on Monday Night Raw, and hopefully down the road get a good feud with Nia Jax going. I don't think it's been teased, but Nia introduced her to the main roster. But I'm not going to go too over here. I know who my pick is, and it's time for Joe to disagree with me for the first time in the video, and hopefully not the last.
Alrighty, yeah, you're right. I am going to disagree with you. I like your pick, though. My prediction for this one, it's different from yours, but honestly, your pick I would want to happen more. I'd rather have Ember win. But in this match, I'm going to go with Natalya to pick up the win here. Money in the Bank. Like you said, I think they're going to go a different way from last year. Carmella winning on SmackDown. I think a Raw woman is going to pick up the win this year. And the reasoning for this, I think that they are quietly setting up a feud, a title feud, maybe not title feud, but a feud between Natalya and Ronda Rousey down the line. Some kind of twist, I'm at least expecting to come eventually, where Natalya turns heel on Rousey. But nevertheless, I still think that Natalya's going to get this win, pick up a lot of momentum to possibly go into that feud with either Rousey as champion, Jax as champion, and then set up a feud eventually. But either way, I think that Natalya gets the win here.
Okay.
All right.
Right on.
All right, we're going to move on here to an exciting matchup between Big Cass, I almost called him Colin Cassidy, against Daniel Bryan, who, I'm not going to mention it. This is a really awful feud in my opinion. I'm not really buying it that much. They might take it in a new direction. It might be a little more interesting after this. Maybe it ends at Money in the Bank. At least I'm hoping so. But too exciting. Pretty much at Backlash, it was Bryan. They faced off, and Bryan just pretty much, he didn't destroy Big Cass, but he won clean, and then he beat the crap out of him in I think it was the next SmackDown or a couple weeks after. So Big Cass really looked awful in this feud. But as far as this prediction goes, I am going to go with Big Cass to win, and not clean. I think that he's going to pull something out of his sleeve. He's going to cheat. Hashtag cheat to win. And I don't really have much to say other than that. I think he's going to cheat to win, which would probably mean this good feud will continue and maybe end at the next pay-per-view. Who you got, Kyle, in this match?
Right, and yeah, I feel like the feud's been okay. I feel like Big Cass has definitely established himself as a nice heel. And I think that really, if you look at this feud, this is all about rebuilding Daniel Bryan. And, Daniel Bryan was one of my favorites from like 2012 to like 2014 when he went out, or 2015 when he went out, right after he turned face and got with King and all. He got with King. King was happy about that. Okay, off subject. But regardless, Daniel Bryan, I mean, I quietly and slowly have been trying to really build myself back into a number one Daniel Bryan fan. Same situation with Seth Rollins for me. I've been trying to get myself back into those guys and become there. And I think that's really what they're trying to do with Daniel Bryan. They're trying to feud him against a big guy who was also coming back. And I think Big Cass has nailed it when it comes to a heel. I mean, I really don't like him. And I think he's done a really good job as the heel. Regardless, I'm actually going to disagree here. I think that this is going to be the end of the feud. I think Daniel Bryan beats Big Cass. Both men move on into SummerSlam. I just don't see this going on to the next pay-per-view because this would be a SummerSlam as the next pay-per-view, I believe, right? So, actually, it's Extreme Rules, but still, I feel like it's about time for these guys to quietly separate from each other. Big Cass do whatever he's got to do. Daniel Bryan maybe move on to Nakamura. We'll talk more about that maybe in the WWE title match. But I feel like Daniel Bryan should have been in Money in the Bank. I feel like he would have had a great opportunity to win it, but it just didn't happen that way. But regardless, we're going to move right on. I am picking Daniel Bryan, though, to defeat Big Cass for the second straight pay-per-view and hopefully end this feud, put it to bed, both men move on to bigger things. But it's time to move on. Third match is actually very similar to this Daniel Bryan-Cass feud. I feel like it's not a very good feud, and that is Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. Now, we all know how this feud started. I don't even have to say it. Everybody knows. But it's all about who's going to win. Bobby Lashley just got back with WWE. Sami Zayn is still adapting to being with Monday Night Raw, so both guys are kind of still feeling out a little bit. I thought the feud has been in lately. I feel like it's all but a filler because you basically don't know what to do with Bobby Lashley. You're pushing him, and you're not putting him in Money in the Bank. You're pushing Zayn. He's not in Money in the Bank. So it's like, you don't want to give either guy the Intercontinental title shot, but regardless, I think Bobby Lashley's just going to go out and get a big win against Sami Zayn. One of his first big singles wins on the main roster, really. Last pay-per-view, we beat him in a tag match, which wasn't a singles match. So I think he's just going to take care of Sami Zayn in quick order. Who knows if the feud will be over. But regardless, Sami Zayn is not my pick. I'm picking Bobby Lashley.
Yep. I'm going to agree with you 100%. I'll keep it short because I really hate this feud so much. It's gotten a little interesting lately, especially with the time we're recording this is actually Tuesday, so it was just Raw last night. I actually liked the segment with the... You know what happened. Help me out here, Kyle. What's it called? Obstacle course. Obstacle course. Why? Should have thought this out. But yeah, I really liked that segment. It kind of made me a little more interested in this match, but either way, I still think the feud overall stunk, and it's a filler, which you mentioned it might be. I think it is. But either way, I'm going with Lashley. I think he's going to destroy Zayn. I don't think it's going to be a squash match, but I think it's going to be a fairly quick match, where Lashley just looks like a beast and the best. So that's it for that match. Both going with Lashley. Alright, moving on. Same brand. We're going to talk about the Raw Tag Team match between the B Team, the challenging against the Hardy Boys. Just kidding. But Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt were the champs. I guess I kick this off. I'll keep this one short as well, because I'm not interested in, because we haven't really seen, with the exception of the last Raw, any interaction between these two teams whatsoever. Because I don't think the Hardy and Wyatt were at the barbecue a couple weeks ago. So I'm not really interested in this one too much. I think it's easy to predict. I'm going to go with Matt and Bray to retain the titles and put an end to this B Team. Yeah. So who are you going with, Kyle?
And I don't really know much about the B Team besides the fact that it's Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. I haven't missed their past couple segments besides small videos, but so they're facing the Hardy Boys, as we said, Bray and Matt, the Hardys, and it's pretty cool to see these two teams go at it. Different feel, I guess. It'll probably be a short match. Do you know what? I'm actually going to quietly disagree with you. I'm going to pick the B Team because I think WWE is going to go nuts and just go full out with this push and just be like, you know what, we're down to push people. And actually, I'm not going to. But this is one of the only title changes I'm picking. Okay, so yeah, that's my pick right there. It's I'm picking the B Team, and it's a shocking pick. But let's move right on. We're just going to go with the tag team match from the other brand, SmackDown Live. It is the Bludgeon Brothers defending their SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships again to sweep the Balor Club of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, cousin Luke, big Luke Gallows. And this is a cool match. I'm pretty happy seeing Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson get an opportunity. I know Carl Anderson actually picked up a surprise win on Harper. He forgot Luke. It's not Luke Harper anymore. It's Harper. But I don't believe that they will end up winning the Tag Team Championship. So I think this is nothing more than a pre-show match, nothing more than a filler match for the Bludgeon Brothers to give them a shot to defend the championships. They didn't defend them since the Greatest Royal Rumble. They didn't defend them at Backlash. So, give the Bludgeon Brothers an opportunity to showcase themselves at the expense of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, unfortunately. And this is nothing more than a stepping stone to their eventual feud with Sanity. But go ahead and make your pick, Joe. Could you be in for a surprise?
Surprise? No. I'm gonna agree. Hashtag agree with Kyle. And pick the Bludgeon Bros, Super Bludgeon Bros. What'd you say to me?
The Bludgeon Sisters.
Yeah. That wasn't funny. But I'm gonna go with the Bludgeon Sisters to pick up the win here over Luke Gallows and Carl Gallows. No, but it's funny. Funny thing is, originally I actually was thinking that maybe this could be a shocker, and they were originally my pick. But before we started, I changed my mind, mainly because, like you said, this is kind of, it hasn't been that big of a feud. Like you said, the surprise win added a lot to it, but I don't see the Gallows and Anderson winning just yet, and I don't see the Bludgeon Brothers losing the titles just yet. And the only team that I could see them losing to down the line is Sanity, which we haven't even seen on SmackDown yet since they've been called up. I think that that's the direction they're going in. I think they're going to have the Bludgeon Sisters destroy each team, and there's going to be nobody left, and that might be when Sanity debuts. Who knows? But I think that's the route they're going, and we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the one-on-one match between Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal. This one, this has been a decent feud. Actually been kind of interested in this with all the backstage segments they've been having, backstage brawls. and all of that hoopla. It's been an okay feud, but you know, as far as prediction goes, because there's not much to say about this one. A lot of these are filler matches, because the only ones that I think I speak for both of us, really interested in are the Money in the Bank matches, the title matches, and that's it. But this one, I'm just going to go with Roman Reigns to get the win. An easy pay-per-view win for Reigns. It's not that important of a match, but you know how WWE works by now. They're going to give Reigns an easy win here to, you know, and he's going to move on to probably another feud. I don't really see this one continuing, but perhaps it does. Yeah, I'm going with Reigns here. Who are you going with, Kyle?
I agree. I mean, this is nothing more than Roman's feud with Samoa Joe last month. I mean, Jinder's cut promos on Reigns, and they're having the occasional physical altercation, much like Samoa Joe, Jinder Mahal. I mean, you can't even compare those two, but still, that's the same feud, essentially. And Jinder has no opportunity to win. I think that it will be about an 8-minute squash. Jinder will get his offense in, but this is what they're doing right now, is they're building Roman Reigns up after, quote-unquote, getting destroyed by Brock a few matches. So they're rebuilding him up. They're having him defeat any heel that's going to feud with him. I mean, more than likely, maybe Seth will beat Elias, and now Elias will get feud Reigns, and it'll be Elias will get taken out by Reigns. That's all it is. I'm not looking forward to it at all. It's a singles match that I don't like Jinder Mahal. I don't like Roman Reigns. It's just stupid. Let's move on, and we're going to. Here's our first championship match, singles championship match that we're going to predict. That's going to be the SmackDown Women's Champion Carmella taking on the overrated Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, in a SmackDown Live Tag Women's Championship match. Hashtag Kurt Angle moment at Money in the Bank, and this has been a pretty good feud going on. Obviously, Asuka was just given an opportunity at the Women's Championship with no number one contender match. She lost to Charlotte at WrestleMania. I guess that was her opportunity. Apparently, she gets another one. She gets a rematch of her. Who knows? It's just, I don't know. Hashtag give the Asians a chance, apparently, on SmackDown. But regardless, I think that Carmella will win, deserves to win, and will find a way to defeat Asuka at Money in the Bank. She just won the championship. I mean, she's just getting the momentum going as one of the top heels in the company. And I feel like, and why have her lose the belt at the event that she won the Money in the Bank? I mean, you know, that's not very cool.
No, that's not cool.
No, I don't think that she'll be cashed in on, because I don't think a superstar from SmackDown will win the Money in the Bank, but I think Carmella will do it. I think that maybe it'll be, you know, interference perhaps. I don't think that she'll beat her clean. I just don't think that they can't do that to Asuka. That's their golden child. But I don't know. Never know. Maybe Asuka will pull out the win. She doesn't deserve it, but I'm going to pick Carmella here, straight up 100%, regardless if it's clean or not. Go ahead, Joe. Your pick.
Yep. Alright, so I'm going to agree with you, but also I'm going to add something that I wasn't sure if you were going to touch on in your prediction. I'm going with Carmel as well, and, you know, usually, for the folks at home, Kyle does not like spoilers. Kyle does not like rumors, and he hates when I break them to him. But I'm going to use a rumor in my prediction. Now, the last few days, there's been a report from, I forget the source, because I usually just look past it because I'm a sheep, but I believe it was PW Insider, which is pretty reliable with backstage stuff, and they were saying that apparently that there could be a return Sunday of James Ellsworth. He is apparently scheduled to be backstage. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's returning Sunday, but either way, they're reporting that he's scheduled to be there, which is pretty interesting. And I'm going to use that in my prediction. I think that we will see some interference in the favor of Carmella from Ellsworth, but you know, that's just an extra one. I just want some bonus points for that one, so there you have it. I'm sorry if that ruined it for you, Kyle. Hashtag angry. Alright, I'm going to move on to our next prediction. It is another singles championship match. It is the WWE Championship. In a last man standing match, it's AJ Styles defending against Shinsuke Nakamura, and I believe this is their third match? Fourth. That's right.
Mania back. Well, fifth.
Really?
If you're not counting all, I mean, they had the they had their match at WrestleMania, they had the match at the Greatest Royal Rumble, they had their match at Backlash, and then they had their match to determine the stipulation of the last stand. This is their fifth match.
Oh, okay, this is their fifth match. Yeah, fourth for the title. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, so in this match, which I'm personally getting really tired of this feud. I've sounded so bitter about all the feuds throughout the whole video, but I'm really getting tired of this. From the beginning, I don't remember who I've picked all along, but I think that I've picked Nakamura to win in just about all of these matches where they faced off, because I really think that this is the feud where he wins the title. If they're going to put it on him, I think this is the feud to do it. And that's why, it would be very weird to end a feud where there's a new champion, because obviously there's a rematch clause. So, I'm just going to look past that. I'm going to pick Shinsuke Nakamura again. I don't know why, because I believe they're building this as like the end of their rivalry. But I'm looking past that. I think it's going to be a little bit of a swerve. Nakamura wins the title. Maybe I'll be wrong again. I don't know. Who are you going with, Kyle?
Yeah, this is a tough, I think, match to pick in a few ways. And the only way I could actually see Shinsuke finally winning the WWE Championship is if it would be a time to take AJ off of TV going into SummerSlam, right before SummerSlam. Maybe giving him a month or two off, his first time off since he's come with the company. But I just don't see it happening. I see AJ continuing to have a very long reign as WWE Champion. I'm picking AJ. I like both guys very equally. I'm a pretty big Nakamura fan. I've really taken a liking to this heel run. I think it's funny. I believe it was last week or the week before where they had the little backstage contract signing with the pen and all. I think that's hilarious. It was actually while you were talking a few matches ago, I was reading about AJ Styles. He actually hasn't had a match on SmackDown in October. And that's pretty crazy. I think his last match on SmackDown was the match with Nakamura, and that was like a month ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago. It's kind of funny that he hasn't really been in action. I don't think he's going to be competing tonight. And that's funny to be a WWE champion, not compete. Not that it's like him, not fighting champion, but that's just kind of funny to me. Hashtag funny. And I'm not going to spoil my Money in the Bank pick, but I think that AJ winning is the best scenario for that. Hashtag spoiler.
Oh, man.
AJ's my pick. I like Nakamura a lot, and I feel like after this match, I don't know where he's going to go. I just hope he doesn't fade like he did. Because everybody remembers before this Nakamura feud with Styles, Nakamura wasn't on. I think that leading from Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, he was on a handful of shows. He had a handful of matches. And even before that, he was Randy Orton's partner here and there. And he just really wasn't in any feuds. He's been in a handful amount of feuds, and it sucks. It really does, because Nakamura can be used so much better. And he has been in this feud ever since the heel run. I feel like him turning heel, it should equal his WWE Championship. Him turning heel shouldn't mean losing it 4 or 5 times, but hashtag going with Styles with this one. But I think, I would like you to be right, but for the benefit of logic, I'm going to pick AJ. But good pick. We're going to keep moving on, guys. We're non-stop here in our picks here. I'm going to go on with the WWE Intercontinental Championship match from Raw. It is Seth Rollins versus Who Wants to Walk with World Wrestling Entertainment Elias in a Continental Championship match, which me and Joe both know it. We are both big Elias fans. We are both big Seth Rollins fans. Seth Rollins' run as Intercontinental Champion has been fantastic. Elias, Raw has been so much better than as an NXT run. He's one of the few superstars that have improved from NXT to the main roster, which you really don't see all that often. But I know there's been a few rumors about Seth Rollins, going into SummerSlam. I don't know much about Elias when it comes to the rumor, but In the end, I picked Seth Rollins to win. I would love to see Elias as Intercontinental Champion. I would love to see Seth Rollins continue his Intercontinental title run. I feel like this feud has modest potential. This is one of the few feuds that I think me and Joe can both agree on that we don't dislike, that we don't say, oh man, I wish it was over in this pay-per-view. I'd like to see more out of this. I'd like to see some different stipulation matches. I'd like to see maybe an Extreme Rules type match next month at the pay-per-view. That's why I really feel, Elias could win the match, believe me, and get a good rematch, could really turn it something. I just don't feel like Elias is ready to win the Intercontinental yet from Seth Rollins. I didn't say he's not ready to win a championship from anybody. I just don't feel like from Seth Rollins at this very moment. If he wins, it's not going to shock me. If Seth Rollins wins, it's not going to shock me. I'm picking him. So it's going to be good. I think you're borderline looking at match of the night candidate when it comes to a single match. I really think that if these guys are given 15, 20 minutes, Elias has shown me that he can have a nice match with anybody on the roster. He's shown it. He's worked with guys. Rollins, he's shown that he can work with anybody. So I think 15, 20-minute match, if they're giving it, take it or leave it, it could be a pretty good match. So, but in the end, I do pick Seth to retain.
Alrighty. I think Rollins in this situation is the safe pick, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm actually going to go with a surprise pick of Elias picking up the surprise win, because in my opinion, that would be a huge shocker. Him just suddenly win the title, and that's what I'm going with. When I, like you said, we're both big Elias fans. For me, the comparison has always been he's like a new Jeff Jarrett almost. Not exactly. Not completely. Obviously, with the guitar thing, he's got going, But in my opinion, when it comes to Intercontinental title, I think that's the best title to put on Elias. Just like with Jarrett, who was, we talked about in the Hall of Fame video, he won the Intercontinental title quite a few times. And was known for that in his WWE run. And I think that could be Elias's thing. Rollins has had a really, really good run as champion. But it has to end sometime, and I think Elias is going to pick up the surprise win here. I could really see Elias being, in the long run, a really good mid-card champion with titles such as the IC, as the Intercontinental or the U.S. Championship, but I'm going to go with him to win here. I'm probably going to be wrong, but I'm picking him to win. And we're going to move on, keep on going. We got 2 matches left, and we're going to pick the Raw Women's Championship, which I think will be the main event of this pay-per-view. They're really hyping it up a lot. It's, of course, Nia Jax defending against Ronda Rousey. Inside joke. In this one, I have a couple of predictions. One, for the match, I am going to go with Nia Jax to win. However, I think that this will not be a clean win. I think there will be interference from the Women's Money in the Bank winner. These are tied together. Me picking Natalya, I think she's going to interfere in this match. I think that, it could be like with Rollins, like Rollins did. She might enter the match and make it a triple threat suddenly. Either that, or, that's pretty much the scenario I'm going with. Or maybe Jax just picks up the win and she cashes in. Or, which my second pick would have been Rousey winning and then Natalya cashing in right after, which is actually more logical. However, I'm going to say Natalya cashes in, very far into the match. That makes no sense. I'm going with Nia Jax to win and then Natalya with Natalya's interference. That's my pick. That was really confusing. Alright. I'm going to move it over to Kyle. Hopefully he makes more sense than I do. Who are you going with in this one?
Right, Nia Jax was around the Rousey well-pushed match. Ronda's obviously her first singles match. And, what's up with these women in the Women's Championship matches? Deserving challengers, I feel like, both of them. But Rousey, obviously, she's a box office bomb. Well, not a bomb. A bomb would be bad. A box
Bomb.
office. So that's why this match is happening. Obviously, Nia Jax, I don't mind Nia. I know a lot of people give Nia some hard times. I think Nia's been an okay champion. I think that she's been on there here and there. I wish that she fought a little bit more. She deserves to win all that, and I'm picking her because of that. And I know that's not the best logic when it comes to WWE pay-per-view picks that, they deserve to win, so they should. I want Nia Jax to win, and I know you've been actually pushing Natalya as the X Factor more than I have here, and you're probably correct, because if she does win Money in the Bank, could she possibly bluff a cash-in? Could that distract? And the only scenario I would see Ronda Rousey winning is if Ronda Rousey won and didn't really know much about the Money in the Bank, her lack of knowledge of WWE. If Natalya came out, even with the contract, and celebrated with her, Rousey really wouldn't know, like, oh, what's going on here? It just acts like a friend, and then she beats her. That's the only other. But that's not my pick. That's a pick that somebody else, I'm sure, in America is making. But for me, I just feel like Nia deserves to win the most, and feel like she's going to pick up a clean win. And I feel like it's going to be much like Monday Night Raw. They're going to have the big battle with the arm bar, and they're going to really push all that. But in the end, I feel like Nia deserves to win this one. Ronda, she can afford to lose a match, right?
You know what? Before you move on to the final match, I'm changing my pick right now. Because I realize I made no freaking sense when I was speaking, which I usually don't. I'm going to change my pick because one of your scenarios that you mentioned, I'm going to go with. I think Rousey wins, Natalya cashes in after the match, potentially during a celebration. That's what I see happening. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm changing it to that. That makes more sense to me, and I just thought I'd interrupt. Ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah, let's get ready. We're wasting no time here with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Of course, from SmackDown we have Rusev, Samoa Joe, The Miz, and a member of New Day. Note this is being recorded before SmackDown Live, so we do not know which member of New Day is in the match. Even if they say it tonight, we don't know, but I don't think that's going to really interfere in either one of our picks or change it. But if it does, we will get back to you guys with a comment in the description. And from Raw, it's going to be Kevin Owens, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, and Bobby Roode. So 8 superstars all going for the men's Money in the Bank contract. And I picked the winner of the women's Money in the Bank match to be from SmackDown. And guess who I'm picking from the men's? I picked the women's from Raw. So for the men's, I'm going to pick from SmackDown. And with my prediction in the Money in the Bank ladder match, I don't know if many people are agreeing with me or not on this, but I'm going to pick The Miz to take the Money in the Bank contract home with him to the new baby and win the ladder match and have an opportunity for the WWE Championship match. I think this is well overdue for The Miz. I think this is finally his opportunity to jump back into the main event scene. And believe me, Braun Strowman, he has a chance. He does. Kevin Owens, I think, has an outside chance. Balor has an outside chance. Roode, I don't really think has much of a chance. Rusev, The Miz, I feel like, is the guy that should be able to do it. And this is what I was talking about with the earlier match. I feel like AJ retaining the WWE Championship would be a better blueprint for The Miz to cash in the down future if the AJ versus Daniel Bryan match for the WWE title happens. Miz could get involved in that. Possibly the Miz Daniel Bryan feud continues. The Miz AJ Styles feud happened. We've never seen Miz and AJ really go at it. So, yeah, I think this is actually a fairly easy prediction. Even though I could see Finn winning it, I could see Braun winning it, I could even see Samoa Joe winning it. Somebody I haven't even met. So, but for me, it's fairly easy. I feel like it's time for the Miz to finally hold on to something valuable that's not the Intercontinental title. I feel like he made the Intercontinental title so relevant in the past few years. And it's time for him to finally cash in on that artwork and win the Money in the Bank ladder match for the second time in his.
Alrighty, I like it. When I was going through all the competitors this match, the top 2 names that stood out was your pick, The Miz, and my pick. When you were talking there, I almost changed it to The Miz, but I don't want to agree with you too much. In this one, I'm going to go with Samoa Joe to pick up the win. I honestly would rather have The Miz win this match. Like you said, I think this could be his time. I really want it to be. I would love to see him as champion. He's, if you go back a few years, I was not a Miz fan whatsoever. He wasn't that interesting. I just didn't like him. He's really grown on me the last couple years. Obviously having runs as Intercontinental Champion have been amazing. One of the best talkers in the business right now on the mic, and and he's very good in the ring. So I'd rather have him as Money in the Bank winner and eventually champion. But I'm just gonna stick with my pick of Samoa Joe for the heck of it, because I could also see him having a feud with either champion AJ Styles or champion Nakamura, who I have winning, but I see Samoa Joe cashing in on AJ Styles before I do Nakamura, setting up for a classic TNA feud in WWE. So yeah, I'm going to go with Samoa Joe to win, setting up for a future feud with, hopefully, AJ Styles. There you have it. Are we closing it out? Any more comments?
I think that's it. I think we have all 11 matches, and we don't have much more to add.
Yeah, so we're just going to close it out here. Thanks, guys, for joining us. I know we tend to go a little long in these videos, but when it comes to these predictions, we just can't stop. We can't stop running our mouths about it. Yeah, that's just the way it goes every time, and we thank you for tuning in. If you made it this long, you really need to see someone about that. But thank you for joining us. Hit subscribe if you enjoyed it. We'll have some more predictions for you the next show, and maybe some random videos in between, but we'll see. We will see. We will see you next time. This is AEW. Alright.